Welcome to Slash Forward. In this episode, we're going back to witness the miracle of spontaneous evolution with the 1996 follow-up to Tremors, Tremors II, Aftershocks. If you believe that vague references to the Precambrian eon can explain away all the biological absurdities of your fictional creatures, please do not subscribe to the channel. Let's get to it. We open on a recognizable scenario as a utility worker traverses an open space via pipe, not unlike Mario. He then enacts a foolproof plan to travel via barrel hopping, also not unlike Mario. But this movie's throwing subtlety to the wind, immediately knocking him to the ground and delivering the money shot. Then we head back to Perfection, where we find Earl still stuck in town and wrangling ostriches. Like a loser, he's visited by a representative of a Mexican oil company, looking for expert advice on handling their graboid problem. He gives an obvious no, even at the prospect of earning $50K per graboid, which don't mean dick if you're dead. Plus, he's got all his money wrapped up in the ostrich market, and who's gonna take care of them? But Grady is a silver-tongued devil, hitting all the right buttons about his squandered fame and fortune, and emphasizing the opportunity for him to rise again. And he convinces Earl to come along. Pretty soon, they find themselves in Mexico. You can tell because of the signs. As they ensure the necessities have all been attended to, they meet the company geologist, Kate Riley. Earl gets to know her a little as he pores over the maps, and we see via Grady that they're equipped this time with portable seismographs. The next morning, they enjoy a light breakfast and go for a jaunt in the valley to attract the attention of their prey. They employ a method Earl developed and start racking up that easy money, basing this entire movie around a single sight gag from the first. And all over the valley, these once proud and majestic miracles of nature are reduced to mere cannon fodder. However, after a close call and a quick ride at the end of a log chain, they find their situation somewhat upgraded and wisely call in some backup. They reach out to Bert at his lowest point. Heather's gone, he has no direction in life, and they offer him a purpose. So before they know it, he's rolling up in a deuce and a half full of goodies provided by the Mexican army. After a quick rundown of the equipment, they're back in the field. We see Bert is handling one side of the valley, recording his exploits vlog style for posterity, but approaching it from the ground, like a rank amateur. Meanwhile, Earl and Grady note unusual behavior on their side of the valley, as one of the creatures moves away from them, something they don't typically see. Earl's cautious due to their cunning, but this one just rars them into a ditch. They're able to get up close and personal, finding it too lethargic to eat them, which isn't very sporting. So they call in Pedro with a crane truck to double their bounty by dragging in a live one. Due to its value, they check on it when it sounds distressed. Upon arrival, they find it's been reamed out like a beached whale. Earl thinks back to biology class and suggests that this may have been a metamorphosis, because why not? Similar bellowing then rings out across the valley. Pedro eventually rolls in, but the truck stops for an extended time, prompting them to gear up and approach on foot, lugging the seismo along for safety. The truck doesn't look too good and Pedro is gone. Mostly. They head to the repeater to figure out why the radios aren't working and find a fairly clear answer. As they seek alternate transportation, they run across a new iteration of the graboids. It goes down easy, but they hear a bunch more coming, so they run. Back at the office, Kate has a normal window conversation with Julio when he fakes like he's getting eaten, except it's for real. The boys show up moments later and try to calm Kate. Shortly thereafter, Bert arrives as well, having had his own run-in with the new petite graboids, and he reveals that he captured a live one. They wrangle it into the office, too distracted to notice a second one fall from the truck and start snacking on some MREs. Through scientific testing, they learn that it senses them through infrared, which is why they tore up the engines and radio towers. They're accidentally smart. After a small meal, it then barfs up an egg sack, and they barely have time to stand in awe before the scenario playing out in the warehouse imposes itself upon them. They flee and develop new methods for sneaking past them while avoiding detection. When they find a loner, Bert uses the tools at his disposal, finding he gets penetration into next week, which includes the radiator of Julio's car. They turn a corner and find themselves in a classic Tremors situation, with Bert ending up in a caterpillar bucket, getting licked on, and the others up high. They wait, as is standard protocol, until the grabbies start rehearsing their circus act, prompting Bert to lay down a distraction. He draws them into a warehouse and locks them in. Unfortunately, this is the snack supply warehouse, so this situation will become unmanageable if they don't do something. Earl comes up with the idea to cool himself off so we can get in at Bert's bombs. He enters to find them making sweet love to that candy, implying it has a heat signature, but he remains invisible. He reaches the truck right as his hot ass starts lighting up their visual cortices, so he sets a short timer and they pull him out with a fire hose. They then run to Bert's recommendations given the payload. Afterward, they're happy to be alive, but left to wonder who's gonna pay them after reducing the refinery to a smoldering hole. Just a quick reminder that I've set up a website that allows you to support the channel through donations. Any donation at all earns you access to an uncensored 10-minute review of Tobe Hooper's Life Force, and any support is greatly appreciated. Tremors 2 had a bit of an Aliens vibe to it, and I'm not sure they gained much by changing the fundamental nature of the monsters we all know and love. Otherwise, it was okay. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love for you to become a part of the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.